Hey guys, on here, and I haven't talked to you guys in a while on this particular situation with Courtney Clenney, who is the Instagram model who has been arrested for murdering her boyfriend. But there has been a couple new things released. One is a 911 call that was made, and one is a video. So I'm just going to give you a little background. There are other videos on my channel that you can go look at, videos of the night of the stabbing where she's kind of covered in, I don't want to get too graphic because I don't want to get censored, but you can go look at the videos. Also, please like, give the thumbs up, and subscribe to my channel if you have not. So there are two different articles. One is from the 18th and one is from the 19th. So we're going to start with the one from the 18th, which says new Miami police video shows OnlyFans models days before fatal boyfriend stabbing. Courtney Clenney, which is her real name. She goes by a different name on OnlyFans, which I can't remember right now, but it's probably in the article. And she was arrested in Hawaii in August on second-degree murder charge in the killing of a 27-year-old Christian Avoncelli. Newly released video shows social media model Courtney Clenney speaking with Miami police officers just days before authorities said she stabbed her boyfriend to death in their luxury Miami apartment. Clenney is visibly upset. The officers had responded to the one Paraiso condo building, Northeast 7th Avenue. I have looked at these condos before. They are pretty high end, right on the water in Miami. She can also be heard saying she wants a restraining order. In the video, a building employee explains to the three officers that he was the one who called the police. The employee explains, and this is what I had reported before, that Abamseli had been hanging out in the lobby since Clenney didn't want him in their apartment. And at one point, he charged at her. So there's another video of where you can see them kind of scrapping in the elevator. It's on the channel. Um, and it looks benign enough. It looks almost like she is kind of attacking him and he's laughing and pushing her off. But one thing I noticed is the keys. They needed a key to get up to their floor. It had to be inserted into the elevator. And I was thinking the whole time that he had somehow gotten a hold of her key, at which point she would be helpless. We get down to the lobby area. Her boyfriend comes charging towards her, and we actually tried getting in the middle of it, the employee said. Clenney then explains that she wants a restraining order. How can I make myself first because I know him and he would do it, she tells the officers. I have not always been the victim, but right now I'm a freaking victim. I'm scared to walk my dogs. So friends have reported that they had a back and forth again relationship with both of them kind of, going at each other. In the video, the employee explains to the officer it's not the first time the police have been called on the couple and that they were in the process of getting evicted. Ooh, that's interesting. So I have not been able to determine whose name the lease was actually in. I think that they're both from Texas. I do believe that she was the first one that had moved to Texas. The officers in the end escorted Clenney upstairs to make sure she's safe, but told her a restraining order had to go through the courts, explaining there's nothing they can do since Amicelli technically lives there with her and wasn't trespassing. Now, something I do know, it's happened to friends of mine before. They've had boyfriends move in who instantly change their mailing address, which then makes it their residence too. So to get them out becomes very difficult. I also had another friend that was trying to split up from his wife, not even his wife, it was his girlfriend. He owned the house, but he had left the house because the fight was escalating, at which point he was no longer able to return to his house for months until things were settled in court. So you got to be careful out there with these type of things. 2 days later, Clenney stabbed Amicelli to death in their apartment, authorities said. Clenney was arrested in August on a second-degree murder charge. From the beginning, her attorneys have said that they have been acting in she had been acting in self-defense. It appears that the responding officers could have handled Courtney's appeal for assistance with more sensitivity and an understanding that many victims of domestic violence are hesitant to come forward and have the police arrest their abusers. That is true. Especially if he charged her right in front of them, I would think that something would have been done. It would also appear from the video that her former boyfriend's violent behavior towards her was well known by her building security. On the video, she clearly asked for help in getting a restraining order. This is the elevator video. As like I said, it is on. I can't believe. Oh, here it is. Courtney Taylor. It was driving me nuts the whole time trying to remember. So originally, she was Baker acted. If you remember in one of my early videos, I didn't know what a Baker Act is. In Florida, that is when someone is put away for mental illness. And so all of the facts of the case are locked down. Amicelli and Clenney had moved to South Florida from Texas in January 2022. Clenney, who went by the name of Courtney Taylor on social media, including OnlyFans, had more than 2 million Instagram followers. Okay, so let's watch the video. Here's a picture. I have watched her Instagram from very early days. She started out as a fitness model. You can see through the years, I mean, she worked very hard. She was a competitor in the fitness circuit, but you could see, I don't know, the changes. She went from being like a young girl who was a fitness model to an OnlyFans girl who was basically, you know, whatever goes on OnlyFans. Either way, it was probably her boyfriend filming her, but I think that would be hard for a boyfriend to take, all these dudes, you know, looking at your girlfriend all the time, even though it's paying the bills. So here we go with the video. And let me just very quickly make sure that I'm sharing my audio. Because we wouldn't want that to happen now, would we? Okay. Here we go. Put it on full screen for you.
I want a restraining order against Christian Angeli.
New body cam video tonight shows a police encounter with the OnlyFans model accused of stabbing her boyfriend to death. A call to officers happened just days before the killing, in which the model claimed self-defense.
NBC6 reporter Alyssa Hyman has been following this case and joins us now with a look at those videos. Alyssa.
Well, Clenney's
So
attorneys
you could hear her clearly say at the beginning she wanted a restraining order. Come on, let's
say
go.
she is the real victim here, saying she is a victim of domestic violence. They say Clenney was clearly asking for help filing a restraining order and say she is a woman failed by the system.
I am.
New video tonight showing OnlyFans and Instagram model Courtney Clenney just days before prosecutors say she stabbed her boyfriend to death.
I want a restraining order against Christian Abumzelli.
We don't issue those.
Because, no, I'm serious.
To the courts.
Can I do that? Where
You have
can
to go
I?
to court. You have to go to
Okay, but
downtown.
how can I make
petition.
myself first? Because I know him and he would do it.
It's police body camera video released by the state attorney's office showing a frazzled and upset Clenney speaking to 3 City of Miami police officers who had been called by a building employee to report a domestic dispute.
Christian,
Please, just like don't. Get me kicked out of my own
we
apartment.
just want him getting. We just want him.
I'm scared. I'm scared of him.
The employee explained to police that her boyfriend, Christian Obumseli, had been hanging in the lobby since Courtney did not want him up in their apartment and said the situation escalated.
So you can't obviously just get a restraining order at that moment. You have to go to court and apply for it, which makes for a pretty sticky situation when you're someone in that very moment afraid of your boyfriend who's trying to sneak into your building and hanging out in the lobby. Now, the fact that they were both getting evicted is new news to me and adds kind of a new twist on the story, but okay.
We get down here to the lobby area, her boyfriend comes charging towards her, and we actually try to get in the middle of it.
Clenney's attorneys, who have maintained that she's been the victim all along, says she was forced to act in self-defense. They say this video, quote,
Okay, so those were the videos of the night of the stabbing.
forced to act in
I'm gonna pause it. Oh, see, it goes dark when I try to pause it. But you can see her. She's not handcuffed, but she has her arms behind her back and she has blood all over her.
self-defense. They say this video, quote, clearly shows Courtney was failed by the system as a woman seeking help from an abusive and violent relationship. It's not the first piece of video evidence released in the case. Back in August, when announcing her arrest,
Okay, so here is the elevator video. She is hitting him the entire time, and I mean, in his defense, he is not hitting her back. But if he has keys to get into her apartment and she does not want him there, then he kind of already won. So what does he care if she's hitting him, really?
prosecutors released this video of Clenney and Obumseli in their building elevator just weeks before his death that they say shows Clenney acting violently towards her boyfriend. Prosecutors said the two had a tempestuous relationship with multiple incidents of domestic violence from both sides.
You guys have been called out multiple times.
In this police body camera video, you can hear the building employee tell the officer that this isn't the first time police have been called on the couple.
The management already been notified already about multiple incidents. They already
something
know,
about
they
it.
already issue her fines. They already issue her eviction.
At the end of the body camera,
Okay, so now we know why she's getting evicted. It's because of all the violence. He said, I don't know if you guys can hear. Is my volume up all the way? That multiple times the cops have been there, she's been fined, and now they're getting evicted. So that is all due to this crazy relationship that they have.
video, officers do escort Clenney upstairs just to make sure she is safe in her apartment, but tell her that a restraining order has to go through the court systems. And they say to her that there is nothing that they can do because they say her boyfriend technically lives there and he is not trespassing. For now, reporting in Miami, Alyssa Hyman, NBC 6 News.
Okay. So whether or not he technically lives there, I think
we know more about the Customs and Border Patrol officer who was
all right, quiet down. I don't know about the whole changing the address thing and how that really works. I just know stories that I've heard in the past from people. I would think it would go by whose name is on the lease, and maybe both their names are on the lease, which would mean that he does technically live there. But you can still get a restraining order against someone that you live with. If your life is in danger, they will grant that. The thing is, a lot of times with these domestic violence, domestic issues, it's very back and forth. They fight one day, they make up the next day, they fight the next day, because they're both dysfunctional and they are in this cycle of violence. Okay, so this is the report from the 19th, which is the next day, and they are releasing the 911 call, the 911 call released. Model apologizes as BF Christian Abumseli says he can't feel my arm after fatal stabbing. I may have already covered this, or maybe I haven't, but she actually called her mother in between the time that she stabbed him and the time that she called the police. So in the audio clip, a dog can be heard barking as chaos unfolded in the background. The operator told Clenney to keep her composure so that she could hear the address. While Abumseli tried to remain calm. I can't feel my arm. I can't feel my arm. My boyfriend is dying of a wound. Baby, I'm so sorry. So I'm not going to read all the details because of YouTube, and I don't know, but the former social media personality now faces second-degree murders. And since the newly released audio was published by the Miami Herald, the opposing side issued their own statement. The Abumseli family attorney said the call shows her state of mind and alludes to her realizing what she's done, which probably did happen. If you're in the middle of a heated argument and you're trying to defend yourself, you know, something could happen and you could pick up a knife and then do something and regret it after. This is not someone that blanked someone and didn't care. Obviously, you can hear from her emotions that she's asking for someone to come quickly to help. So it's just a big mess of a situation, really. But let's take a listen to the call. Let me make sure again that I am sharing. Oh, crap. I wasn't sharing anything with you guys from the article. That's okay. Here we go.
Developing right now at noon, we're hearing the 911 calls from a case that has gained a lot of national attention.
An Instagram model charged with stabbing her boyfriend to death at their Miami apartment in April. She was arrested months after the incident. Local 10 News reporter Nelson Povic joins us live from Miami.
And she has those dramatic calls along with some body cam video days before that stabbing took place.
Well, Christy and Janice, in this 911 call, Courtney Clenney is frantic. She is heard screaming, at one point even apologizing to her boyfriend, Christian Abumseli.
So they're no longer going by her Instagram name, which they were at first. It's all back to her real name, Courtney Clenney, at this point. But here we go.
We even hear his voice, what appears to be his final words.
My boyfriend is dying of a stab.
It's a panicked and frantic 911 call coming from Courtney Clenney, the OnlyFans model accused of stabbing her boyfriend Christian Abumseli to death. You can hear Abumseli in the background saying what appears to be his final words.
I'm gonna die. I can't feel my arm.
Repeating them.
I can't feel my arm.
Clenney apologizing.
Let's play that again. I put on closed captions so we can try to make it out. You can see his words across the top, though.
I can't feel my arm.
Repeating them.
I can't feel my arm.
Clenney apologizing.
Baby, I'm so sorry.
Prosecutors say she stabbed Abumseli in the chest with a kitchen knife on Sunday, April 3rd, while he was unarmed, claiming it was not an accident nor done in self-defense.
The knife entered Christian's chest in a downward angle to the depth of 3 inches.
Clenney's attorneys stating otherwise, saying Abumseli was the abuser and that this is indeed a case of self-defense. So prosecutors say that Clenney's self-defense story is inconsistent, that it has holes in it. She is facing a second-degree murder charge, expected to make another court appearance in December. That's the latest here out of Coral Gables. Sanella Sabovic, Local 10 News.
All right, so you can draw your own conclusions of what's going on here. You know, my opinion is that it was just a dysfunctional relationship that got out of hand, which unfortunately happens more than it should. So that's the update on that. I will try to keep you updated as more things come around. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. If you'd like to leave a tip, I have my PayPal in the description box. And have a great day, guys.